Hey everyone, RJ here. Welcome back to the channel. And today I'll be giving my 2-week update on the Google Pixel 6a. So a little mini review, if you will. Definitely not a full review, nothing like that, just for 2 weeks. But I'm going to give you my thoughts on the phone, if I think it's worth the money, and do some gameplay and just showing you the phone and giving you my opinion on it. So starting off here, I want to start off with the build because to me, it's got a really solid build. Yes, the back here may be plastic, but honestly, if you put it next to the Pixel 6 or 6 Pro, you know, to the average person, or really anybody, you're not really going to be able to tell if it's glass or plastic because Google did a very good job here with this back of this phone. It just looks good. It feels very premium. Of course, it's lighter than like the Pixel 6, so you might can tell that way. But it is what it is, and if you put a case on it, you're not going to be able to tell the difference anyway, so there you go. Now the back here, of course, is your dual camera setup. 12 megapixel wide angle lens, 12 megapixel ultra wide angle lens. Can record in 4K 30 and 60 and 1080p at 30 and 60 as well. Of course, on the side here, really nice matte aluminum finish here. I do love the way this is. I just love the way this looks. On the bottom there, of course, is your Type-C charging port. This does have stereo speakers. They sound great. Up front there, of course, is your 8 megapixel camera. I think it's 8 megapixel. It can record 1080p at 30 frames per second. Now, powering the phone on, the display is just beautiful, okay? The OLED panel, it looks super crisp, super clear, very vibrant. Now, it does have a 60 Hz refresh rate, which honestly, to me, is not a big deal in the slightest. It does not make the phone unusable. It does not make the phone trash. It does not make the phone. It's just lower hertz. Okay, lower refresh rate. It's not a big deal. We've been using 60 Hz for years, so that's not a big thing. So I'm gonna move on from that for right now. But the phone is smooth, and I mean, I've not had any issue whatsoever using this phone. It has been solid. And I've been using it for 2 weeks as a daily phone with my main SIM card. And connectivity is good. Call quality is good. Reception is pretty good as well. I mean, it just works. I mean, it's got Android version 12. And it's got all of the features of every Pixel that you see. You know, let's go into the settings here for a moment, and I'm not going to go through a lot of things here because basically a pixel is a pixel, and they have basically everything that you see in the Pixel 6a as well as 6 Pro and all like that. Storage is 128 gigs. That is the max storage capacity you can get in this phone. So yeah, no SD card slot, which I wish they'd bring that back to all phones, but that's just the way it is. But you know, basically, it's got all the features that you see in the higher end Pixels, all the gestures. Now, this phone, you know, it's on the June 1st security patch. I'm not really sure what Google's doing. You know, we don't have the July update or even the August update as of right now. By checking it here, yeah, we're still on the June 1st and no updates as of yet. So hopefully they'll get that pushed out soon. But, I mean, the phone just works. There's not a lot to say about this phone. It just works, and it works very well. The 60 gigabytes of RAM, yes, it's a little on the low side. Same as the Pixel 5a, you know, same as the Pixel 4a. They really haven't upped the RAM, but you got 8 gigabytes in the higher model Pixel 6. So, you know, a phone is $150 cheaper. You're going to see some takeaways like the 90 hertz to 60 hertz, the 8 gigs of RAM to 6 gigs of RAM. You're going to see a little bit of a takeaway, you know, when you buy a cheaper phone. You're not going to buy a phone that costs cheaper than the original Pixel 6, expected to have the same features as the 6. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, we can kind of just get over that, get over the pickiness of the 60 hertz display, get over the pickiness of this, that, and the other, and just come to say, hey, this phone's $450. It's $150 cheaper than the Pixel 6. You know, it's going to function just as good as the Pixel 6. And, you know, and just get on with it. I mean, a 6.1 inch display does feel really nice, does feel good to hold because of the smaller form factor. So yeah, I mean, it ain't gonna take away from the experience of how fast and how fluid this phone actually works. So yeah, just want to get that out there that 60 hertz does not ruin the performance of this phone one bit. The 60 gigabytes of RAM, this phone is really well optimized, and it's good for RAM management. The storage at 128 gig, yes. Wish they had a a another storage configuration, but hey, that's just the way it is. Now, I want to show you a little bit of the performance side of it by playing Asphalt 9. That's what I always play in all these phones here in the highest quality settings. So let's go ahead and check that out now. All right, so here we are. It is on the highest setting. So we'll go ahead and play anyway. Let this here load up. Does the phone get warm? The phone does get a little bit warm, whenever you're playing games over a long period of time. Of course, I haven't tried out any of the really graphic intense games that are like massive nowadays, but we're going to see here for drop frames or any freezes, which I doubt we're going to see any at all, but we'll see. So far, everything looking fine. Very smooth, very smooth. Graphics look really good. Everything is just very smooth gameplay. Absolutely no issues whatsoever. Yeah. You can see, man, I mean, all the graphics is looking good. Everything looking fine. So yeah, that's Asphalt 9. So no hiccups, no issues, no problems. Playing Asphalt 9 in the highest quality settings. Now, if you want to play these higher intense games that are like 10, 12 gigabytes and they're just full of graphic intense, I can't comment on those because I don't play those games. But, it should play okay. I won't say it's the best in the world, but you should be just fine. Running the Google Tensor chip here. I mean, same processors in the Pixel 6 and 6 Pro. Now, with that little bit of gameplay, the phone did get a little bit warm. I won't say that, after prolonged periods of time that it gets like blazing hot, nothing like that. But it does get a little bit warm, and I do hope that that is something that is addressed because, it's not fun holding a phone that gets really hot or warm when you're, trying to use it to play games or whatever the case may be. But I wouldn't say it's like unbearable. It just does it does get warm. I was on the highest quality settings, so yeah. Anyway, now, how is battery life? Battery life has been fantastic on this phone. Okay, I've got up to 2 days solid with this phone. With the new updates and all, I'm not able to see beyond 24 hours for screen on time, and I'm not really sure why they've done away with that or whatever, or how you find it, because I've looked everywhere and I can't find it, like the total screen on time, the total time that it was on since last charge. But I have used it quite a lot, watching a lot of YouTube videos. I have logged in and watched some movies, TV shows, stuff like that. And the battery has held up very well. I have actually recorded a video with this phone once, and it never had any problems recording. It never had any problems with the with heating up or anything like that. I mean, it was just fine. Now I want to touch in with the fingerprint scanner. Is it the best fingerprint scanner out there? Absolutely not. Okay. Have I had any issues with the fingerprint scanner? No. Have I had a few mishaps or a few not recognized? Absolutely, that happens, okay? But as far as reliability, when I press it, it opens. Now, I know we all like to be able to do this right here and tap it and be able to get right into the phone, but that ain't going to happen here on this phone. That little bit of time is not going to affect you one bit, by opening your phone if you just barely tap it, or if you got to hold it for a little bit longer. It's not that big of an issue. And I have tried out that whole, other fingerprint problem people was having, and I've not had that issue. But, when I push it, it opens right up. And so, is it the fastest? No. But does mine work fine? Absolutely. It's just, it ain't the fastest in the world. So, it is what it is. But, of course, this does run older cameras. Okay, the camera you find in the 4XL, 4A for the main sensor there, the 5A, and all of that. And that's been a complaint of a lot of people, as well. Why don't I have the upgraded cameras? Well, what's wrong with these lenses here? These lenses here are tried, true, proven camera sensors. They're excellent. I have had, every picture I've taken with this phone has came out clear, has just came out nearly perfect. So no issues with the camera. The front camera being 8 megapixels, it does just fine as well. I've not had any issues with it. I'm hoping in the next video to have some camera samples. I don't have any right now. Some really good camera samples. So hopefully by next video, I will have some to show you from the Pixel 6a. But honestly, it does a really good job. Also follow me over on Instagram for the random photo I may throw up over there on Instagram and Twitter as well. If you're not following me, all the links down below or in the description down below. And I will, of course, in most photos, I will, name the phone that is taking that picture or video or whatever the case may be. But I've had no problems with it. But I think that one of the main things we all need to quit nitpicking, arguing, fussing over with the 6A is the 60 Hz refresh rate, okay? We need to get over it, okay? It's not 90 Hz, it's not 120 Hz, and it does not make the phone unusable, okay? It does not make it slower. It does not make it, choppy. It is not, it does none of that stuff, okay? 60 Hz, we got it in our minds that we have to have 120 Hz or 90 Hz for it to be a good phone, and that's just simply not true. If you was to go up to the average consumer, if you will, and ask them, is their phone 60 Hz or 90 Hz, most of you are going to look at you kind of weird because most of them just don't know the difference. I mean, to us techies, yeah, we can tell the difference, 60, 90, 120, but it's not a make or break for this phone, and I really don't see the problem. I just don't see the problem. I use phones all day with 120 Hz refresh rates, OnePlus 10 Pro, S22 Ultra, and so on. But I have no problem using this here as a daily phone with a 60 Hz refresh rate because I don't let it bother me, and I'm not going to deter somebody from buying something just because it's not my preference. It's still a good phone. It functions very well. It has no issues. Performance is good. Cameras are good. Screen looks good. Good stereo speakers. You can't go wrong buying this phone. It's $450. Okay. You're going to get plenty of, 3 years of OS updates. I think 5 years security patches. But overall, for $450, I recommend it. I can recommend it. And I think it's a good phone. So that's all I got for right now. Self-informative in any way, hit that like button. Any questions you may have, leave it down below. If you're new around here and haven't subscribed, I encourage you to please consider subscribing and clicking that bell, turning it on for all notifications of future videos to come. More videos coming soon. So, yeah, with all that, y'all have a good one, and thanks for watching.